of that work that God's been doing in my life. I didn't tell Grace this when she asked me to speak this Sunday, but I will just say that over a year ago, God told me that Grace is going to ask you to speak at the next Sunday. And when she asks you to speak, I'm going to give you something to say. And so it's a pleasure that I am here today to be able to share some of the bits and pieces that I've been able to pick up along the way in this season that I have been in, because all I am is a tool. All we are the pots to share what the Lord has been doing with us. And if you need a line to hold on to for what I have to share with you all today, it is that chaotic times demand an anecdote. And that anecdote is creation. People of God, we must be louder and more intentional with what we create with our living of life. We are God's creation. And when Grace told me that today, or for the theme for the month, has been foundations, and foundations has been, what's at the root? What's the bedrock? What is it that we build our house, our home, our lives upon? Those are the foundations, the things that we take for granted. But they are the foundation. They are the stone, all right, that we build ourselves upon. And the foundational concept for me was we are created by a creator. We are created by a creator. And if we are created by a creator, that means that our task as image bearers of God, as people who practice in the ways of God, is that our task is to create. We live in a society, we live in a time, we live in a moment that does feel chaotic. It's a cliche at this point to say that these are unprecedented times. Right? We don't know what's going on. It's chaotic. It's disruptive. We know. We are increasingly reminded time and time again, every time you walk out the door, every time you open up social media, every time you speak with somebody, of the chaos and the instability in which surrounds us. What goes along with that chaos is consumption. Consuming. We live in a culture of consumption. And that shows up in any manner of ways. I will not go on and belabor that point because that could be a whole talk series, class, whatever, on its own. But I will say that we live in a place and time that demands and requires so much consumption. The way that we live is based on what can you obtain, consuming. The ways that we measure our worth are based on what it is that you have accumulated. Consumption, whether that's practical or whether that's over the top, right? Even that everything moves with money, right? Everything moves, what we display is with money. The economy is based around consumption. Our entertainment, what gives us pleasure, what we are asked to, or not even what we're asked to do, what is the trend, what is popular, the ways that we engage for our own joy or escapism, is consuming. It is showing up and watching. It is taking in. It is scrolling. It is consuming. I can go into detail because I teach media classes, right, about our attention economy, right, that we pay with our attention. We pay with our time, but we are consuming much more than we are asked to create. Our leisure time, consumption. Where do you go, not just to go to show up to have an experience, but what do you go to have? Where do you go to take? What is the food that you're going to take in, right? What are the products that you're going to have? You want to improve your life? Great. There's a pill for that. There's a podcast for that. All right, there's a book for that. There's a class for that. There is something that you can buy, purchase, consume in order to fix the things that you have. But that is the opposite of how we were brought into this world. The miracle that is life. The miracle that is life is creation. We are created beings. We come from an ultimate creator. And that is the creation, the building of things, the putting out into the world. It's not what you can take, it's what you can contribute. The Lord gave us life, a miracle in and of itself. God calls us to create constantly, all right? We are not creatures of consumption, right? The Lord tells us in Lamentations, and the song goes, right? The Lord's mercies are there so that we are not consumed. The Lord's mercies are there so that we are not consumed. We are not supposed to be consumption. We are not supposed to be primarily consumers. All right, we come from a God that calls us to create. We are created by the Creator in their image. And the question is, well, if we are here to create, how are we supposed to be doing that creation? We have the ultimate demonstration if we have a relationship with God. And the way that God creates is very simple. But it's the simple things that are the hardest for us to hold on to oftentimes. What is it that God creates with? God creates with life, and God creates with love. God brings things about because of the practice of love. God is love. What it is that God is putting into the world, what God is asking of us, comes from life and love fundamentally. And so when it isn't life that's being glorified, when it isn't love that's being glorified or created with our actions, with the ways that we talk, the ways that we move through the world, then that's not what has been modeled for us first. It's the opposite. It's the opposite, right? John 10:10, right, tells us, right, that it is the thief that comes to steal, take, consume, and destroy, kill, consuming life, consuming your soul. But God has come so that we may have life and have it to the full, to have it abundantly. We are here to live life, to create life. That is the purpose. When Jesus was leaving, what did he leave us with? What was the new commandment? A new commandment I give you. Love one another. And not just love one another in whatever interpretation that you make, whatever it is that's just romantic, whatever it is that just feels good, whatever it is that just looks good, that's pretty and comfortable. God said that as I have loved you, as I have loved you, so you must love one another. So our call, if we are here to create with life and with love, is to create life and love in the same way that God has created life and love. I've been thinking a lot lately about being creative, being a creator, right? If we are creation and we are called to create, then that means that we're creators. But there's a thing that happens in our culture and the way that we use language that oftentimes when we're talking about being a creative or creator, it gets relegated into the world of art. Right? It's relegated into the world of somebody's a genius with their words, with their writing, with the way that they craft with a pen, right? With the things that they produce, right? And we look at that and we say, here's creative genius, or I am a creative when I am creating these products. But our life can be creative in any way that we deem fit. Because we exist, we are creating. Because we have an interaction with someone else, you create with your words. You create with how it is that you move through the world. You create with your responses. You create with your look. You create with what you pay attention to. It doesn't take much. You realize you have a interaction, a seemingly random interaction with somebody, and you give them a kind word, right? Or you receive a kind word from somebody, it can change your whole day. That itself is creation. It's creating something along the lines of what God asks us to do more of. I say let life be your canvas. Let life be your workshop. Or the analogy that I'm going to tease out, because my husband is a cook, and a very good one, is let life be your kitchen. Let life be your kitchen. And if life is your kitchen where you are creating what you are going to serve up to another, to yourself, to your soul, to the spirit, to the world, in whatever form that might exist, you can start by examining the ingredients that you are using the most on a daily basis. What are you putting into your life? What are you putting into your actions? What are you putting into the words spoken, the actions taken? Or what you choose not to say, what you choose to withhold, what you choose to not do? What are the ingredients of those actions? What are the ingredients of those responses? What are the ingredients of those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions? And we don't have to just wonder about what are the ingredients, how do I get the right combination, right? We already have the reminder that we are called to create with life and with love. And God gives us some very clear descriptions of what God's version of love is, right? We can go to one of my favorite verses, right? We'll go to 1 Corinthians 13. That whole chapter, right, gives us a dissertation, if you will, on the principles of love. But when you think about what you're putting in, are you putting in more patience? More patience. In a world that is speeding up and speeding up and speeding up, where else can we put in more patience? It can be in the small things, right? With how we think about ourselves and the patience and the grace we give ourselves internally. All right? It could be out there in ways that we don't even think are related to our direct spiritual life, but are a part of the life that we live, right? Do we really need overnight shipping? Can you wait 2 to 4 days for something to arrive? All right? Where can you be a little bit more patient? Okay? These are the places, these are the seeds, right, that they grow. They grow. If you practice more patience in the little mundane things, you will have the ability to start practicing patience in the bigger things, in the deeper things, right? Where is your love kind? Or where are you practicing more kindness? It can go anywhere. The only call here is that we need more of it, and we need it more deeply. So start working on where you can create in your life that has the principles of love. I'm not going to give an example for everyone, but I do want to list out the rest of the characteristics of 1 Corinthians 13. Does not envy.
Amen.
Does not boast.
Yes. Amen.
Love is not proud.
Amen.
Love does not dishonor others in any form or fashion. Does not dishonor others. Love is not self-seeking. It's not for us. It's a gift that we give, but love is not for us to hold on to and hoard. Love is here for us to give it away and give it away again and give it away again. It is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. I know. It's not easily angered. Where else can you slow down your anger? Where else? Where else? Is it that little bit of road rage? All right. Is that little bit of frustration with yourself, with your child, with your partner, with your friend? It's not saying eliminate it, and it's not saying that there is never anger. Anger is a valid human emotion. But it says love is slow to anger. Slow to anger. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Not a short list. Love keeps no list, right? But the end of this verse in 1 Corinthians, right, tells us that we will not get to the perfect version, but God is the perfect version, right? So we might not ever get to the place where we keep no record of wrongs, but know that that is the goal. That is the source that comes from the Creator. That's what we can create with. A shorter list maybe for starters. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Where else can you rejoice in the truth? In a world that is chaotic and has a lot of things going on, and I know this even from the kind of work that I do, right? We are really good with critique. We are really good with calling things out that are wrong, right? And saying this is not the thing, right? That this is, I don't like it, right? It doesn't make me feel good, right? But I think we're not as good as rejoicing in the truth, all right? My shirt today says must have joy, all right? On purpose, all right? Must have joy, must have more joy. Where can you rejoice in more of the truth? To round it out, love always protects. Love always trusts. Always. Love always hopes. Love always perseveres. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep moving forward, as Solomon sang for us right before we came to talk. Always perseveres. Love never fails. How do we take these ingredients and add more of them everywhere? Sprinkle them into a little bit of everything, right? Sprinkle them into, right, your commute to work. Sprinkle them into the meetings that you have with your colleagues. Sprinkle them into the way that you talk to yourself. That's what I've been working on. Right? More of the way that we even speak to ourselves. We can create magnificent things from there if we just tweak the recipe a little bit, right? Add more of it. There is no reason to hold back from our ability or our attempts to create with more love. Love is not wasted, right? Love is never wasted.
Amen.
All right? It is never, 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 never a fault of ours to give more love.
Amen.
That's not what the world tells us. The world tells us there's a limit. The world tells us that you can get to a point where, write somebody off, don't interact with them anymore, right? The action might be give a little bit of distance, give a little space, but it doesn't mean less love. You can love somebody differently, but still be loving them. Add more love everywhere. That's your kitchen, right? With the ingredients. Add that love that the Creator has shown us. The Creator has created with love. We too can create with love because we are creation, right? We are creation. We are able to mirror some of the ways of God. We are in God's image. It is already within our ability to be able to do that. The second part of my recipe kitchen example, right, is not just the ingredients. Examine your creation techniques. How it is that you make the thing, right? The temperature of the oven, right? How hot can it get, right? Or maybe turn the temperature down, all right? How quick you're stirring, how fast you're moving, okay? What it is that needs to be chilled. Sometimes things just need to rest. Sometimes the bread just gotta rest. You gotta rest and let it do its thing, right? What techniques can you use that help to further encourage the life and the love that we already have received from the Creator and that we can put into our own creation? So that means how you do the creating matters. How you do a thing matters. So to be able to do something with more love, with more patience, with more kindness, just the how of that is important. And all I'm saying is that we need more of it. In times of chaos, right, we need more of it. Okay, how it is that we do things, where it is that we create, right? Maybe easier said in the walls of the church, maybe easier said and done with people who we really connect with already, or people who we know understand us, right, or people who come from the same background, all right? But there's an invitation here to expand where you do your creation. Outside of the walls of this church, or the church. Outside of the relationships that are working really well.
Amen.
Outside of what is already familiar. that is where it is urgent for us to send the process of our creation, especially as people who know the word, who know the ways of love, right? To be able to spread that more deeply and more expansively. Expand, and expand again. Expand until it is disruptive. Our God is a disruptive God. Things come from nowhere, a God of miracles. And even if it's not a miracle where, somebody is dead and has been raised up in the physical sense, we know we've experienced that in our emotional lives, in our spiritual lives. We know that the miracle of life itself, and I'm a little bit of a science nerd, I won't go too far into it, but we still haven't found life anywhere else. Our existence is still miraculous. And even if we're not talking about the miracles of, the leper or the woman with the blood, our existence is proof of miracle enough. So let that truth get in. All right? And then let it disseminate. Let it disrupt in all of the best ways. Do it till it's kind of weird. Right? Somebody you haven't heard from or talked to, call them up. Hey, I love you. Oh, no. That was weird. I haven't heard from them in a minute, right? But they'll remember it. They'll remember it, all right? Or the person on the street, just because, right? Hey, I love the smile that you're giving today. Okay. Okay, random compliment, but people remember it. People remember the kindness, right? People remember the patience. People remember the grace. And it is our task to give it more and to let it disrupt in all of the best ways. Our technique is just as important as the ingredients that we pour in. And I'll end with this, all right? Again, it's already been given to us. Because we are creation, those things were imparted in us when we're young. You have to look no further than a baby, right? The care of a child. Inherently, okay? Displays love, displays connection, needs it, right? Even as kids, right? We are constantly seeking the thing in which we need, and that is connection, and connection comes from love. We've done it before. Maybe it's been a while, but it's already there in us. It's been given to us. That is a part of our gift. That is part of our ability to be able to love. So if it's already been given to us and it's already within us, the last bit is just to dial up the practice. To push it out further. To push it out further and know that God is with us along the way. Okay, so it's awkward. Okay? You'll survive a little bit of awkwardness. All right? Okay, so it feels weird because we haven't done it enough. We haven't slowed down enough. We haven't rested enough. We haven't practiced kindness enough, so it feels weird. But those are the natural things that we as human beings should be more comfortable doing, not less. And anything that is telling you to go in the opposite direction is not of God. Because God tells us what love and life look like. Very explicitly. So in closing, as Jesus was leaving, said faith, hope, and love remain. The greatest of these is love. Be not consumed. Create.